This being the Town of Ayer Zoning Board of Appeals. Wednesday, February 19th, open session meeting agenda. First item, we'll call a meeting to order. Next item, approval of the agenda as it stands.
I make motion to approve the agenda as it stands.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
First item on the agenda, public hearing. ZBA will conduct a public hearing at 6:15 p.m. on Wednesday, February 19, 2020 at Ayer Town Hall located 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. Recording the applicant of Northeast Material Handling, Inc., 1 Bly Street, Ayer, Mass. Applicant is seeking a variance pursuant to Ayer zoning bylaw 2018 as amended October 22, 2018 to allow for the use of the premises for destruction and decommissioning of electronics and universal waste recycling as advertised January 24th, January 31st, no, Neshoba Valley Voice. Applicants,
Here.
please. Name and position, please.
James O'Boyle, President of Northeast Material Handling.
Okay.
Francine Susi, Office Manager, Northeast Material Handling.
Okay, you have the floor. Tell us what you're doing.
Over at North.
Why are you here?
Well,
Okay.
do you want to start?
Go ahead.
So what we do.
Start over.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Take two.
Appreciate it. So we are an aggregator of electronics as well as furniture. So I know a lot of the concerns that the town had and other people, which is great because we're concerned about these things too, is we don't actually take anything apart that's hazardous or in such a way that it's not conducive to our environment. So for instance, and I know I put this as one of our examples, the computer that you work at every day. These little.
Let me interrupt you for 1 minute. Rather than we've read all this.
Okay.
My question becomes, we as the board are looking at the usage
Of the building itself?
of the property. The fact that we don't have recycling in the table of uses, you're looking for a variance for the table of usage.
Correct.
So rather than what you are trying to do or not do it with your business, what are the benefits or the offsets to the town for us to allow you to recycle there?
All right.
I think that covers it. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes.
All right. I think the first benefit that we could probably attest to is right here at the away station yard that's right in the center of town. That was
The what?
the away station right here, the
Maintenance away.
the maintenance away station for the T.
So you're working for MBTA, that's not the town.
No. No, what I'm saying is that because it's right here in the center of town and it was not very well kept, I know that a few of the town officials were trying to find a way to get that yard cleaned up because it's an eyesore when people drive up and down that every day when it was like that. And when we found out that the MBTA is actually one of our largest customers, we were able to work in conjunction with the department that was looking to get that cleaned up so that we could work together as a team to do that. It is definitely much more cleaned up now. They've added the mural, which is beautiful, kind of puts a nice little spin on the front of it. But that's one instance where we could be beneficial to the town. I know that you folks hold recycle events. We actually host recycle events. We would be happy to handle that for you. When people, instead of throwing their TVs out on their street, or instead of having to call to get them picked up and schedule that, and then you have more motors out on the street, you have more people, blocking up the streets because they have to need to pick up all of these things. A recycle event, people could bring it directly to us. We would unload it, take it off your hands, and then we bring it to the appropriate facilities that it is disposed of properly.
Have you been to our transfer station?
No.
No.
We do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I
We do appliances, we do televisions, we do basically the same thing you do for the town's people.
Okay. That's fine.
May I speak? We go to towns like Ayer, and we remove material like that as well. Westford being one. So we're the middle person between the mill and the generator, the town and the mill. And that's for proper separation, logistics, buying power, because of the material that we're able to, the large material we're able to move. Just as important, back to the original question. We moved into the city of Lowell. In the paper, we promised, or we said that we were gonna create 20 jobs in a year's time. We created 32 jobs. We had to move out of Lowell because the building was bought. It was taken over by the bank. The former owner didn't pay his mortgage. But with that said, we were very successful in hiring local community people, and we started that here in Ayer. We've hired 4 individuals who live right here in Ayer, locally. 2 of them don't have vehicles. They're able to walk to work. They're employed full-time. Will we be able to promise 32 jobs? No. Will we be hiring more local people to work? Absolutely. How many? We would think somewhere in the range over the next year, 3 to 6. So they're not big numbers, but it's jobs that we're creating. And that'll also be dictated by the amount of space that we have. Part of other things that we can offer this community here is, as Francine mentioned, and you do have a recycle center, it sounds like, right up the street. But we do get a lot of calls from local folks, correct?
Oh, yeah.
Right now here in Ayer as well?
Definitely, yeah.
Can you take a TV? Why they're calling us, we're not sure. Can you take paper? Absolutely. Sometimes we even get cardboard from folks in town.
Well, since you mentioned that,
Yeah.
what I do with it. I went online this morning and looked at your website.
Yeah.
And I was kind of surprised at the magnitude of your recycling here in town. Cardboard, plastic. I must have left it in the truck. Yeah, I must have left it in the truck. There was a substantial amount of recycling that I wasn't aware that was going on here in town.
Right.
So, I guess, one of the first things that come to my mind is how did you get there? How did it start, and why did it take so long to end up here?
Well, when we came into Ayer, prior to us coming here, we had 72 employees prior to the market
Close to
crash.
that, yeah.
About 70 some odd people. When we came into Ayer, we ended up downsizing so much because of the way that we changed our business. We used to bale. We were the balers. We were the disassemblers of products, and we'd ship it out in container loads. We've changed our way now. We don't, in fact, we're now an aggregator of material. So our way of doing business doesn't need as many people on the floor. So the way that we're doing business now is basically we pick up anywhere from 2 to 3 truckloads a day out of Boston and Worcester, and they go directly to facilities. Don't even come back to our facility. The only time that material comes back to our facility is if it's electronics, bulbs, or material like cardboard or paper that was up in the front of the truck that we couldn't get out of bin while at a facility.
What was that yesterday?
That would be, I'd have to see that a little bit closer.
The dumpster.
I'll try to see the debris.
Is that trash from the shop?
This could be from our shop. Yep. This would be over
So
a
where do you
period,
take your trash?
over to Devon's.
Devon's.
Devon's Recycling. And we take it there because they do a great job separating. We're not taking it to landfill. What we're trying to do is we try to, we go into communities, corporate environments, and we set them up with recycling. For instance, we go back to the T, because that's a good representation of what we do. We handle their trash. We don't haul their trash. We have a company called Save That Stuff out of Boston who handles all the trash. We oversee and we make sure that the cardboard is not being put into the trash, or paper's not being put in. We evaluate dumpsters that are being pulled out of the facilities. So our business is, we get involved with all kinds of steel, railroad, tracks, train wheels, buses, but none of that material comes back to our facility. We use our dumpsters for that, but our dumpsters stay right in Boston, from the repair centers right over to a company called Schnitzer, which handles on a wholesale level all our steel. So that never comes back. What comes back?
Who's Roberto or who's Bob?
Roberto is not, he's a guy across the street, actually. He's got a dumpster business.
Oh, the truck that's parked out.
So-
Oh, he parked a truck in our parking lot?
Yes, yeah.
He asked if he could park a truck there for a couple of days because he was having a problem with it.
But you're using his dumpsters?
No,
No.
nope. We
Those are
have,
not his, that's not his dumpsters?
we're buying some of his dumpsters.
It's got his name on it.
It says Bob.
Four.
Yeah.
Yep. We bought, to date, 8 dumpsters over the past 2 weeks from him.
Oh, that's
Where are
right.
they?
He's been putting them in back of the building, and we've been sending them out to the field. So the dumpster, I don't even think that dumpster's still there, is it? What we do is we bought, his dumpsters were beat up.
It was there yesterday.
Then it's probably still there. I was in the back of the building today. So we bought 8 dumpsters to date. He's delivered 4, and he still has 4 more to bring. What we do is, like, that dumpster there will go out to Westford. It'll have, be welded up, security things put on it so the doors don't open, and then it'll go out in the field. So our dumpsters, if you see, you may see anywhere from 1 to maybe 4 dumpsters at a time at our facility that are either waiting to go out, or a door's being repaired, or we're putting a sign on it, or in fact, we usually have a dumpster for trash, which is what you saw on this truck that was there. Guys in the shop will go through bins, they might pull bubble wrap out, they might pull a box that there were hard drives in, and that's what you saw in that Ford truck. And that truck will go over to Devon's, and then Devon's will do their separation and recycling of it. So our business is, we're for instance, when we get bulbs in, we're bringing them in closed boxes, tape boxes. We generally go to about
Twice a
2 to 3 times a month.
How long have you been here in town?
Been here now
Almost 2 years.
almost 2 years.
Again, why did it take you 2 years to get here?
Back to your question. Short help, one hand not talking to the other. Simply Francine, myself, and Brianna actually gotten, and it's solely on me as the president of the company. I wasn't aware that we didn't until the building inspector, and I believe the chief at the time,
Yep.
fire chief came in, and Francine started to head it up.
John?
I was just gonna hand him over.
Thanks.
So we used to have a business manager, Scott O'Hagan, that would actually take care of, compliance things with customers, making sure that we got certificates and making sure that, in a case like this, where you need to come into town and make them aware that you're there. And we were very dependent on Scott, and Scott was no longer with us when we moved here, so it originally fell through the cracks as far as paying attention to it. It wasn't an intentional thing. We have nothing to hide on what we do for business. We actually drive around with lettered trucks, and our guys are all identified with shirts on who they work for. And we're not, we deal with high-profile agencies throughout Massachusetts, not just the T, but Executive Office of Energy, Environmental Affairs, DEP, OSHA. So we're Commonwealth of Mass, and they're taking advantage of the program that we're able to offer. So we're not trying to, and I apologize to the board, I apologize to anybody in town, that we should have came forward when we came here, or had plans to come here.
Yeah, it would have been a little bit different
Sure it would.
perspective.
Right. Understood.
Do you have any butters?
Allison Shatnoff on Grove Street,
Yes, ma'am?
6 Grove Street, and I just don't think it's an appropriate use for that area, given the connection or the distance from downtown, as well as a residential area. It's going to grow. You mentioned in your letter that it's the epicenter of the Northeast, so where is it gonna go? It's gonna go from where you are now to out. I've seen it double, maybe even triple since you got here 2 years ago. I just don't think it's appropriately placed. Bylaws are set to protect the community against occupancies. And in a highly industrial site, that would be fine, because you don't have the residential, you don't have the town. Look at downtown, how much time has been spent to getting Ayer into growing and becoming a community that people want to come to, attend, live in, and this is something I think that would be a deterrent, because it will be a place where the recycling center is, not the community. That's one of my main concerns with being where you are. It's not really an appropriate place, I don't think.
Part of the research done on this, the area there where they are, you can't build houses.
Right.
It's
No,
industrial.
it is
light
industrial.
That's correct.
Right.
We look at it, and you have to take everything in context of how it applies and where it applies. And some of the things that you can do and some you can't do. So we have to listen to both
Oh,
sides.
I understand. I
Okay.
understand that.
As to the weight and balance of the applicant, of the application.
Right. In 5 years, where do you anticipate our being?
As far as the size of a company or location. No bigger in the town of Ayer. And the reason for that is the market does not warrant, we can't go out to Western Mass, where some of our clients are, and effectively bring electronics back to this facility.
Okay.
It's not cost effective for us. So what we plan on doing over the next couple of years, and this has been a couple of years in the making, is operate as a satellite facility in other communities.
Epicenter of our environment here in the Northeast.
Correct. It's the center of where we are.
Well,
And-
Northeast as a company.
As a
not
company.
as a place.
Okay, but the epicenter of,
who we are today and where we are. This is where Ayer is our only location at this point in time.
and what is your
And will
circumference?
we don't have, there's no more available space at the both buildings that we're in.
Mhm.
We've actually changed our way of doing business where we now, when it comes to furnishings, we used to have 220,000 square feet in Lowell. And we're right now, that's for furniture.
Mhm.
And
We haven't
now
even gotten
we've
into
got,
that yet.
what's that?
I said, we haven't even gotten into
Right.
that yet.
That's, now we have 4,000, that's including the I think it's 4,300 square feet, including our offices, which are probably about 1,500 square feet of that, I'm guessing. So there's a drastic reduction. And the reason for that is we're still getting the same volume, but when we go into a facility and liquidate it, we're actually supplying furniture to the industry directly from ABC office and any building that you may see out there that we're liquidating. So our business has changed where we're not putting furniture really on display like we used to.
Right.
We're selling it wholesale. What's coming back here is very small quantities, maybe out of a 10,000 square foot facility, some stacking chairs. Like we did for the church over here, we let them take chairs from our facility at one point. And customers that we have on a low level, because we're not really geared to be a mall that people come through and shop. If you go into our facility,
That's for
we've
them.
got racking.
Yeah, no,
We're simply flipping product out in the industry and bringing very little back here.
Excuse me. How many trucks do you have?
We have 3 box trucks, 24-foot box trucks, and we have 2 roll-off trucks.
So you have 5 trucks over there.
That's correct.
How many trucks a day?
How many trips a day? The trucks only come back to our facility once.
Ideally.
And out of the 2 roll-offs, only 1 moves. One's a backup. So there's really 4 trucks that are deployed out and come back in the course of the day. And one would say, well, if you're doing 2 or 3 loads out of Boston and Worcester, we're going directly to Mills. So a driver this morning that left, went into Boston, got full loads out of subway stations, and then brought that material directly to a processing facility, and then went back out and continued on a second run for the day. And then the truck will, most of the time, but not all the time, come back either empty or partially full with material that he missed a cut off or didn't have enough material to bring it to the mill. Or simply some desks that we wanted to keep because someone asked us to look out for a certain type while we're liquidating buildings and not sell it wholesale.
And what about electronics?
Electronic devices do come back to our facility because they're put into a bin at a multi-tenant facility. There may be CPUs, there may be keyboards, monitors in the bin. There's where the separation comes in. We have to take it back, and the guys actually literally will hand pull everything out of the bin and make a pile of CPUs on a pallet, a pile of whatever.
Because that seems to be 2/3 of your tonnage
Right.
that you do.
And then we actually send that material to facilities that further will break it down and go after the actual commodities that it's made up of.
And what are the IH exposures of having all that equipment? Say there was a fire in your facility.
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Say there was a fire in your facility.
Well, there are sprinklers in our back building that were inspected. We're not in the business of going into a computer and removing the battery, because that's a great concern. You hear about fires from batteries. We're not removing that. We're sending that along to facilities that are either licensed or that's their business. Just like melting of gold.
What was the stack of vehicle batteries or storage batteries outside?
Where do we have batteries?
When the
originally. We
The original,
had the cardboard in between that we were running over.
you had
to,
stacks of,
URT.
Oh, URT. So you're talking about lead acid batteries?
yes.
Yeah, lead acid batteries, we'll get in on occasion in our bins, and people throw stuff in there.
Everything in there.
And what's
Well,
that?
they were
Everything.
outside, so
Yep.
that raises a
Was
separate
this
issue.
recently,
This was last
Not too far back,
last summer?
maybe.
over the spring,
Okay.
maybe. Yeah.
Yep. What we're trying to do, we're trying to fit into, quite honestly, we're trying to fit in 4,300 square foot building.
Well,
When we
what it
originally
does-
came here, it didn't work.
What it does is it opens up groundwater contamination.
Mhm.
So that is, and you're sitting on an aquifer,
Mhm.
pretty close to Devon's wells, not too far from ours. So that in itself lends a pretty heavy burden on the town. So what you do during your business, for all intent and purposes, is your business.
Mhm.
But when you start to adversely affect the town, the townspeople, or their drinking water, that's a completely different situation. So that and your pile of propane bottles.
Those are gone, we're not in the propane business. The chief brought up a very good point.
Yeah.
That what if a kid comes through with a BB gun?
Well,
Great point. We don't, what we do is we'd go to events and people could bring their grills and inevitably they'd bring their propane and we cut a deal with AmeriGas out in Greenfield, Mass, that we would bring the material out to them and they would do the proper discharging and recycling of the containers. But the chief brought up a good point while it's sitting here waiting to go.
It's-
So we don't do it anymore. It's something that I know up at the DPW, they're stored on the ground out there. We did it
What DPW?
up the street that you mentioned. I say DPW.
You been
Your
there?
recycle center. I've driven by it, yeah. I've driven by it and seen them. But it's a great point that he made, and we do not take propane. They're supposed to be empty. Inevitably, they're
Propane
not.
bottles are never empty.
They're never
Correct.
emptied. So we do not take them. Those are off our recycling program.
I don't think
We-
we've taken
we-
those in over a year.
Since I met with
Since
the,
that,
since the
yeah,
chief.
just
Yep,
about a year.
we sent our last load to AmeriGas. And everything that we ship out, we have documentation. We gotta comply with, I mean, we can't ship bulbs into the processing facility that are not enclosed and not taped. Everything has to be properly packaged. So we take the precautions for our own personnel. We've had a recent health and safety evaluation from OSHA to come in and make sure that we're doing the right thing from the standpoint of the health and safety of our employees. So when it comes to batteries, like you mentioned, you saw some layers. We get the occasional, and what we do is we take the proper care of them, meaning that we layer them, and there's cardboard in between them. We don't take fluids and liquids, so if we go to a facility at the MBTA, which is really where our batteries will come from, if they come back here, we don't take them broken. And we don't have to, because they have a hazardous waste hauler that handles that under contract. So you won't see a broken battery at our facility. Our drivers are trained that they don't take batteries that are broken. There's usually a picture that comes back and we send it to their environmental department and then they make arrangements to have them removed. We've also reached out to Waste Not.
Yep.
Waste Not had an issue of, they wanted to expand and do not only their curbside, but for trash, but a curbside on special arrangements for people who can't make it to your facility here to go out and, for short money, pick up other items, you know, that they have, air conditioners or whatever. We said, well, we generate a lot of steel. They got our name from someone who knew that we generate a lot at the T and asked him, hey, if your steel's going out your building, could we throw it into your dumpster, as long as it's clean steel. So we've taken it a couple times, we haven't seen them
Did
recently.
your website say you took refrigerators and air conditioners?
Yes, sir.
How do you recover the freon?
We don't. For instance, UMass Medical Center, we take all their ACs, refrigeration units, freezer units, and they remove.
They purge them?
Yep. They recover it, and they actually put a sticker on it that shows that. So our driver goes in, he doesn't remove any, and they have a staging area where the stuff that's been discharged goes, and everything has a sticker on it. It's important we leave that sticker on too, because then when it's put into the truck and brought to the facility where we drop off at Schnitzer in Boston, they have to see that this has properly been discharged. And we're not gonna be grabbing something and having it in the air in Boston. So that's the program, how it works with them as well.
Thank you. John, what do you think?
Well, I think that the department heads have a lot of concerns that
Yeah?
probably should be addressed. So, you don't want to get into the sales yet.
Questions, comments?
So, what are you actually going to store outside? Outside storage seems to be a bone of contention. What is actually going to be visible outside of the building?
Our intention is nothing, just like we've cleaned up the front building. The back building, we have
Define front and back.
back building being
Bly Street.
Bly Street, the back building. Front building being
Tannery.
Tannery. All right. So Bly Street, we've rented space for 4 trailers that we'll put mostly cubicle parts in, cubicle panels, and the sea containers that are also there mostly house seating. And we'll put 1 inside the building, put the other 5 or 6 inside a sea container. So that's basically what we store there, and I believe to date, our production person has, I want to say 2 dumpsters back there. Because we had, that were not dumped because we had our luck, 2 of our roll-offs go down at the same time. So we get backed up, and so there might be even 2 dumpsters there right now. But our intention moving forward is always, we can't sit on this material to, whether it's trash or whether it's any other item. We can't leave it outside. We can't bring it over to a cardboard facility or a recovery facility when it's wet. That's a little trick because you're getting paid by the weight. So we're not able to present our material wet, so it's not to our benefit to leave something in a dumpster. And we're very familiar with runoff. We've done right here in town. One of my biggest concerns to the T was you get all this steel here, you get all these railroad ties, and you got a pond. At that time, I think I called it a pond. I don't know what you call it here, but
Still pond.
yeah. So things like that are a great concern of ours. Our dumpsters over at the T, I mentioned about welding dumpsters. They go over to get welded because we want to make sure that to the best of our ability, we're maintaining our cans because of rain runoff at the T. That's huge. They watch that very aggressively. We work daily with the environmental department. Our exposure to environmental people is it's daily. whether it's at UMass or it's at the MBTA or it's a town.
Anything else, John?
And that's why the DEP uses us as well, because of our approach.
So you're talking about over at the rail station?
Yes, sir.
And
The maintenance away yet?
are you taking all that stuff out of there?
No, I don't hold the contract for the commuter rail. When Keolis took over the T, they assigned me to all the steel, all the cardboard, and all the maintenance away yards. And what we didn't want to do was, we have such a great relationship with the T overall. We told Keolis, we'll do a study for you on this first, and then we'll figure out where we're gonna go from there. And what I did was, I went around to 26 facilities, I found maintenance away yards I didn't even know they had. I evaluated just the condition of them and how good and how bad they were. I shared them with the chief here in town about Ayer. And when we finished this evaluation, we elected not to bid on the Keolis, the commuter rail run, because of the condition of their facilities and the lack of Keolis for profit. And that was low-lying fruit for them. They had no intention on doing anything based on what we gave them for a report. So what we didn't want to do was become that face of not good recycling housekeeping. So we passed. We've got a tremendous record. Why we with the T? Because we've got a program in place that's been 9 years now, and the recycling is a clean, well thought out, very safe environmentally in many aspects, runoff, you name it, accountability.
Have you gotten a business certificate from the town clerk yet?
From this town?
Yes.
No, sir.
You know, you knew you had this meeting
Yep.
tonight. You
But-
got this packet ahead of time, right? So I'm assuming that comment was in there. That's such a simple thing to come down and do, I would think, right?
Well, actually, we were under the impression that depending on how this meeting went was our ability to be able to get that.
Okay.
Please, Charlie.
They can't get it without the approval from the ZBA.
Okay,
They need that to be able to be a viable business, because it's not in our table of use.
okay.
And then if it was granted, if you guys granted my variance to the table of use, then they still have to come apply for the business occupancy, and they would also have to go to site plan review through the planning board,
Okay.
because it's a change of use. But you guys are first on the list.
All right.
Ron?
Hate to inherit this from, in this state. It would be good if, is the site plan review still a concern, or what?
What,
Should that have been done, or is it?
No.
just-
what would happen if we approve a variance? It still has to go to the planning board for site plan review.
Okay. So,
That's simple. The only thing we are contemplating is the use variance.
all right.
It still has to go to the planning board for site plan review. There's no way around that.
So,
Yeah, I mean, that makes me more.
if we were to
I mean,
approve
it would,
that-
even if it wasn't, I think I would still stipulate it.
Yeah.
You need to know what's going in and out of there, I mean, traffic wise. All right, you're running 5 trucks a day in and out of there. Those are residential streets.
4.
4. And it-
The 5th one's a backup truck. One's down, the other one's up.
4 trucks a day.
Yeah,
You don't anticipate any growth?
not here. No.
So your fleet, but in any case, that's still a substantial amount of truck traffic on a road that's designed for cars. So that's part of the site plan review. that and the peripherals.
So, to clarification, what's before us then is the.
Whether or not we should allow the recycling, because it's not in the table of use, there is no permission by omission. If it's not in the table of use, they need a variance to operate that kind of a business in this town.
In that district, yeah. Well, yeah, in town, because it's not there.
Is recycling even, I'm just.
It's not even addressed.
It's not even defined.
No, it's not. That's why we're
So
here.
the applicant could say that they're simply warehousing the material and transferring it to other.
No, they're recycling it. That's their business.
Right, so okay, I'm just trying to get a handle on this, so we're, so they're doing some disassembly and then reshipping of the disassembled components, or the sequestered components, cardboard.
Yes.
Electronics,
Yes.
batteries, yeah. Universal waste, different types of universal waste. So it would be the consensus of the
Non-hazardous.
board that that is a recycling
Yes.
activity. Okay. So therefore, okay.
Related to that, the application describes the activities as destruction and decommissioning, which sounds very different from sorting keyboards to
I know, that's-
monitors.
You take it apart,
Yeah,
you destroy it.
so just separating the
That's
two
what
is
you-
Yeah, I mean-
defined as
Well,
destruction.
well,
I would assume that you can't take a computer apart without destroying it.
That's original use.
What we do
Right.
in that regard is we take the hard drive, that's the important information. The computer, the cards, anything that's in it stays there, cords are pulled out and separated. So we separate material by material, not by commodity. The destruction part of it is we take the hard drive out. The disassembly is we take the hard drive out and we separate it by taking the screws apart, and we take the disk that has all the information, we put that in a separate bin, and we send that out to be shredded to a facility different than we might be selling the dirty aluminum housing.
Okay.
So that's the disassembly part of what we do. And then we send certification back to the folks who would have given it to us by simply photocopying the hard drive before it gets taken apart and say this has been sent out for destruction. So we're not grinding, we have no grinders, we have no balers. Very simple manual operation, a separation operation.
So the photographs of the balers that were online are from,
For Lowell. And it may be some from OPR, one of our
That's right.
processing
Nothing
facilities.
here, though.
Nothing here. No.
all
But
right,
truthfully, that's a thankless job.
need to update your website.
Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
Well, yes, sir?
Mr. Chair, if I could, before you vote, if you vote to approve this, I don't know if you're allowed to, but could you condition that the trailers on Bly Street, I gave you a couple pictures, they're not screened by the tree line. I have pictures here for you, that they need to be screened because that directly abuts Bly Street, which is all residential except for the corner building.
I completely agree. I think screening and traffic are my two major concerns, and I don't want to see the buildings go into misuse, because a building being used is less likely to burn or just fall apart, but, I think screening is huge, because there are people who live right there.
Screening what, the building, or screening the trailer you can see from the street?
Yeah, there's probably, I have a couple pictures there of the trailers, but you can see 6, 7 trailers, and now it looks like there's material leaning up against them in some of the pictures. And I took that from the standing on the pavement.
On Bly Street?
On Bly Street.
Can you just show which picture, Charlie?
Yeah.
That's not us.
No, yeah, across the street.
Well, that's the truck that was in the yard. That's the oil that was coming out of the truck, and you let that on your property, so that's dripping on your
Oh,
property
the
also.
Roberto truck?
Oh, yeah. Right here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and
Well,
some
that's one of our
That's one of
box
the
trucks. We got 4, we own 4 trailers.
Whose dumpsters there? Anyhow, my point is it's not screened from the
Yep.
residential neighborhood.
Okay, so what you're looking for is from where you were standing, which is the entrance. Actually, it's beyond the entrance.
And whose are these containers, these green ones?
Those are the sea containers I referred to earlier.
And plus the tractor trailers, so there's
Yep.
really maybe 8 or 9 large articles on this.
Right, some being sea containers and the others being the 4 trailers. So what you're saying, Charlie, is the entrance is right here. From,
You know, the
as you go,
entrance is here, I pulled up where they put the chain across to stop the MBAT.
correct, going this,
That's where
that's
that
over
picture
here.
is, and that's, I tried to get in the direction of the neighbor's house is looking at.
Okay, that was my point. So from the neighbor's
Yes.
house, this is what it looks like.
Yes.
And you want some screening up in
Well,
front of
our
those.
bylaw calls for an
Yep.
exterior
Understandable.
stairs to be screened. Maybe you might want to try and move them out back where that dumpster guy is that has a buffer line that you can't see that from the road.
Yeah,
You know, I've taken pictures of his and you can't see his stuff.
yeah.
Um,
And we can certainly ask the owner of the property if we can relocate
And also,
those,
I'm sure the planning board and site plan review.
Yeah.
They'll-
Or a
is
screen.
gonna go there.
if we can.
they'll require it, yeah.
Yes, sir?
I just wanted to make my appeal to you guys before you voted. My family's lived in Ayer.
You are?
My name's Jonathan Jones. My family's lived in Ayer since the 20s. My great-grandfather immigrated from Italy. We've owned property on Forest Street going back to, like the 30s or 40s. Our original house was destroyed in the tannery fire that was across the street. So we have some major concerns about the operation that you guys are planning on running across the street. You talk about computer parts, and like you make it sound like it's not much, but there's mercury, there's lead, there's dioxins, there's arsenic. I work with computers every day. I know what happens when you try and break down these pieces of equipment. And maybe 5 years ago, Forest Street was littered with nothing but old people. My grandmother lived there. Now, there's about 10 families that I can count just on the street every time that I come home. Me and my wife are ready to sell if this becomes a way station right across the street from our house. You mentioned trash, you mentioned dirty aluminum, all types of stuff. We've heard propane now, we've heard car batteries, whatever it is. Like, I don't want that crap near my house. Like, and I'm ready to move if need be. And I have a young family, and that's all that lives on Forest Street right now is young families. And you're talking about 4 or 5 trucks that are going in and out daily. Like,
And Grove Street is the
Yeah.
same.
I've never come to a town hall event. I've never listened in on any of these meetings, but I saw this and I thought it was important to come here and just voice my opinion. So I know I speak for everybody else on the street that maybe just didn't know about it or didn't have the balls to come up here, but that's how I feel about it.
It's
And,
the ownership. They didn't get notified. Tenants didn't get
I live in
notified.
Forest Street. I just moved like 10 months ago.
Are you in the bottom?
directly across the street, 18 Forest.
So everyone within 300 feet of both buildings would have gotten a butter notification. Then if, that brings up the question of rental properties, you're renting,
It
you know,
doesn't go to them.
it goes to the owner of the building, wherever that is.
I
That's a
talked
s-
to some people,
Yeah,
and
that-
they were not aware of this.
Yeah, that's the state law, and it's incumbent upon the landlord to share with the tenants. They don't always do that, which is
No, I
unfortunate.
understand, I'm just voicing my
Yep.
opinion.
Are you a property owner there?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Were you notified?
I was notified, that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. that's,
Time too.
you were notified? 2 out of 10?
I was notified, I know the people across the street weren't, but they
It
rent.
didn't make it clear in the notification what was going on. You had to read between the lines to see what was, you know, the operation that they're trying to set up over there. No offense to you guys, but that's just.
There are 2 applications here. One for this and one for the furniture. We can do them one at a time, or we can do them both at once. Town council recommended that we do them together, since it's the same company. 2 different addresses, 2 different locations. It's the same company. So,
Well, it's not being granted or denied to a property, it's to the business.
that's
No,
correct.
And it's one business.
Property, it's the property.
Oh, it is the
It
property.
gets recorded as a
Change of
property.
use,
Right, it's
change
for
of
the
use of
registry
that property.
deeds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's right.
that, so
I'm
that
sorry.
gets
Well, then-
recorded
then
on the.
It should be two.
Okay.
And just
that's the way we'll do
procedurally, because we've listed them as 2 separate hearings, you would vote here,
And then open the second.
yeah, close it, and then open the second, and,
And I think that was in the notes in the.
yeah.
Okay.
Hey, speak for a moment.
Yes, sir?
What we're doing is being misrepresented. We're not taking, I understand your concerns, just like mercury and light bulbs, they're around us. Electronics that are around us is mercury, no question. But our business is not to dismantle and expose anything. That's for a mill who's processing the material further down the waste stream. Ours is strictly to go out and say, that laptop's not working no more, here, thank you, and we send it off to a facility. With the only exception being your personal information, that being extracted, which is a simple, being in computers, you know, those come out fairly simple. It's not a major disassembly operation. So we're not, and then on the other side of it, there's no residual material staying around. We're not, we're not creating large piles of material and creating 40,000 pounds of waste to bail it. We're simply getting the material and getting it off to the facilities as soon as possible. Just like lights, light bulbs. We can safely store up to 1 year per the DEP. If it goes further than a week, then I'm surprised. About three times a month, we're dropping off bulbs. Sometimes a full truckload, sometimes not a full truckload.
Would you like a transfer station right across the street from your house?
Well, we're not a transfer station.
But it seems like
as
it, because
you
there's very
mentioned.
similar, there's similarities between what you're doing and what they do up at the town dump. You're just not taking bags of trash, but all the other stuff, it sounds like you're taking.
Well, we're not taking we're not taking, obviously, propane as well. But the material has to go somewhere, and if we were processing, if we were baling, we're cracking plastic, we were accepting light bulbs that are broken in open boxes, that's a big concern to us. But that's not what we do. We're a solutions provider that goes the next step and gives you the logistics solution as well. You know, we're not doing like we did in Lowell. We're not stripping, we're not even stripping wire. We're selling our wire just how it is. The cord that you see now is, 20,000 cords that are in that same box. They're
Right,
not
but I'm
being
hearing
stripped.
car batteries, and we've heard propane tanks, like,
So the propane tanks we no longer take. and-
right, but it was stored there at some point, right? Like,
When we first came in here into town, we
Right.
brought them with us.
and then the fire chief came in, shined some light on what was going on down there, and now you guys aren't doing it anymore. So it's like,
That's right.
what oversight do the people have around you? That
Anybody,
you're storing that type
the
of
way
stuff,
that,
like, what, make me feel better
yeah,
about it. Like,
the way that we operate is very transparent.
yeah.
Our vendors, any one of our customers,
There's your oversight sitting right there.
any one of our customers, no, we tell them where our material goes. Just like yourself, sir. I'd be more than glad to let you come into see, hey, how you storing your furniture? What's your operation all about? I think it's important. It's your neighborhood. I understand, because I live up on I got a house at 47 Highland Ave. And, yeah, I want the same thing too. Especially after doing my evaluation down here, and seeing how Keolis was operating. I would not mind. You're more than welcome to come in and see what we're actually doing.
So you deal with 1,200 multi-tenant facilities?
Correct.
Correct. What do you deal with taking from them?
It varies. We may be doing just electronics from one, we may be doing just paper from another. The most comprehensive program we have is with the MBTA. Now, do we handle all that material? Just like I'm saying here now. We have vendors that handle parts of the recycling. We're a solutions provider. We're not always the best people
Sorts.
to be, excuse me?
Who sorts?
Say that again?
Who sorts?
Sorts.
The customer, the generator of the material, the day of, even the trash, the single stream days, those are going away. It's become a worthless product, nobody can touch it. So what we do is we go in, our job, this is the big part of our job, my job every day, is to go into facilities and and evaluate and make sure that the proper separation's being done. So when that material is brought to the mill, maximum recovery is there. One, from a financial standpoint, and two, from an environmental standpoint. There's been fines. Prior to us taking the trash contract at the MBTA, there were fines given to them because of cross-contamination of monitors being put in the trash, electronic devices it shouldn't be, TVs. And since we've taken it over, they haven't got any fines because I literally, that's my job. I go out every day and I evaluate. I go down to UMass Medical. I make sure that when I'm going by, I check to see what we have for a load of refrigerators that have stickers on them, and just make sure. And if I don't see it, because one fell off, which they don't fall off because they actually have a better adhesive now that they're using, we're safe. So I'm just as concerned, so we don't cross that line as a company because we're not a hazardous waste hauler. So we don't ever want to cross that line. We don't ever want somebody to give us a fluid, a 5-gallon drum of oil. It's not our business. It's not what we do. We're not allowed to.
But isn't universal waste by nature hazardous?
No,
Not necessarily,
not by definition, no.
but
Universal means everywhere.
So it can contain hazardous, but it's not by definition hazardous.
Right.
By definition, it's not hazardous.
Okay.
Hazardous by definition brings into a whole different realm. When you when you look at hazardous material, it's based on what the material is and how much weight, how much of that material there is. Cyanide, for example, could be as much hazardous material over an ounce or quarter ounce. It just depends on what the material is and the threshold for the definition between universal and hazardous. But that's a multi-page, 1,000-page book. But a universal recycling means everything. It's not hazardous. If it was hazardous, it'd be a different conversation altogether. A lot shorter.
But with the percentage of the electronics that they take in, it may weight it that way.
Because everything is enclosed, it actually poses an immediate
But when
threat.
you disassemble it to go to the boards.
no, we're
go
strictly
to-
taking the hard drive out. When
Oh,
we say a
that's
disassembly, it's to take the hard drive out and separate that.
Mhm.
For that purpose only.
You know more about that than I do.
And then that's the only way we can send out that it was destroyed.
The
'Cause we
thing
don't go to
is
the
you are
mills.
now putting the town in a very awkward position because you've got a lot of money invested in where you're at now. And they don't approve this, then it's a financial hardship for you. And it's kind of putting them in an awkward position if they don't approve the variance, correct? Am I wrong in that?
Fair statement.
And it's kind of awkward, we as landowners feel that it's not an occupancy that we would want in our yard, in our front yard, backyard, whatever it is, because of the hazards involved. I see our community now starting to come in and have people buying homes, become homeowners, and take on more interest in the community, which what I saw when I moved here, it was all tenants. People would move in, they'd be from the base or whatever, and they'd be here and then they'd be gone. But I see more stability starting to get established within my section anyway, you know. Have you found that too?
It's all families.
Yeah. And now, because this wasn't done up front, now you're putting the board in a very awkward position because they say no, and it would be financially damaging to you probably. And then they say yes, then they have the community that they're representing angry at them because now they're presented with an exposure that I may not have bought my house if I knew that was the situation. Because you know what you are now, but in 5 years, if you're very successful, I can see you bulging at the seams, and what we talk here now, today, is
That's a
not,
very valid
not
point.
where it's going to be in 5 years.
We're not growing here. There's
But
not, the
if
real estate
you're
isn't
never
there.
growing
If
until
they
your
go-
seams get tight.
The next person
And
has
then
the same right.
it expands.
Logistically, you can't in the recycle business. You have to be local as you can be in where the material's being
But
generated.
things change.
So that's where the satellite, that's where one would say, why'd you leave such a big facility? We left for the reason of the bank took
You
it
were
over.
on, you were on
But-
Tannery Street, right? In Lowell?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
And aren't they tearing down Tannery Street?
No.
Because of, it's a Superfund site?
No,
No.
that was turned over to it's a cloud facility now. It houses
Computer housing.
Barclay Group.
Yeah, well.
So
they're
they bought the
tearing
building
Barclay
and put
down.
computers in
I
there.
don't know what building you were in, but I know
Servers.
they're doing
We
something.
were in the old Prince Spaghetti Factory.
Yes,
Where, Prince's?
Prince
Prince
Spaghetti.
Spaghetti Factory?
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah, Prince
That's the
Grotto
building
was.
that we were in.
Wait,
That's not in Tannery Street, though. That's
Prince
in.
Ave.
it's all-
Oh, Tannery is down, yeah, that's the.
Can we wrap this up, please?
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry.
But that's kind of where I feel that we're kind of put in a
Got it.
position.
Sorry.
So the board does have the option to continue it if you wanna, think on it for, till our next meeting, we can do that. Obviously, you can take a vote tonight. Any vote is subject to a 20-day appeal from either side in Superior Court or Land Court.
Or come in and see our operations.
That's not within our,
No, it may not be, but I'm just extending it out because it's about transparency.
We can certainly do a site visit.
you can do whatever you
I
wish.
mean, I don't know if we could coordinate it, but we could. You know, Charlie, do you know what that building, these buildings were being used for before Northeast was in there?
Oh, well, Fly Street's been off and on empty for a number of years due to it was falling down. They had them repaired somewhat.
Okay.
And the carpet store's in the wing portion of it. And then there was a welding shop where they are on Tannery Street, and there was a couple other different businesses in there.
Okay.
None of them really lasted for a long time.
Okay.
So I guess it boils down to, A, do we allow the variance to change the use? And B, are there stipulations that we attach to that change of use?
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't go for anything without a provision for screening. I think John mentioned concerns.
Outside storage, you know, it just bothers me because it's so close to the water.
Well,
And any runoff is gonna get in the soil and it's gonna go.
I agree with that. I absolutely
We're
agree with that.
already into water bans, you know.
That's why we have the material in containers. It's furniture that's in there. So runoff, I'm not sure what would come off
But it
of the
needs to be
desk.
stipulated
Yeah,
that would be a permanent.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about the electronics right now. We're not talking about the furniture. We haven't even got to that part yet.
Electronics are not put in trailers.
No.
They
So-
strictly go right into the building.
We're talking about the one building right now.
Which one, Bly?
Tannery.
Yeah.
Tannery.
Okay.
Tannery.
Tannery's is the furniture.
No, Tannery should be safe.
No,
I'm sorry,
Bly Street.
Bly,
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
sorry,
Wait a
Mr.
minute.
Chairman, you were correct.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which one's
I'm
from?
sorry, let me get it, let me
Tannery
look
is
at this.
furniture. Bly is, yeah.
Yeah.
Bly Street.
Yeah.
That's what we've been discussing for the last,
I'm-
so,
I'm sorry, it's 11 Tannery Street we're discussing. Bly is 0 Bly, which is a tannery building.
that's
So
not what the application says.
It's 1 Bly Street.
11 Tannery, I'm sorry.
11 Tannery.
We haven't
yes.
started that one yet. We're still on 1 Bly Street.
No,
That's what we
Yeah,
started
we
with.
started with 1 Bly
We
Street.
started with one Bly.
yes.
We were discussing
We haven't,
operations at
and
Tannery.
we've been kind of flip-flopping, but we haven't even opened that hearing yet.
I see. So we've been discussing the recycling of.
No, electronics and universal waste. That's at 1 Bly Street.
Oh, that's at 11 Tannery.
Okay,
No,
these are mixed
Not
together.
according to
No,
their,
they
that's
legally
Bly.
changed to Bly Street.
Where-
this is their
just one second.
application.
So this is 11 Tannery from our website.
Yep.
This is where you do the dismantling
No,
of, well, I've been in there.
that's furniture.
We swapped them when we took over the other building.
I believe you gave us the building owner's name back there. Or maybe it was the chief.
Yeah, so this
It's
is,
been me or the chief to try and do it. So they've swapped them, I didn't know they swapped them out, I'm sorry.
Gee, what's going on there now?
so 1 Bly Street is what we're on, and that's
That's
the
what I opened.
electronics,
Yes.
Yes.
universal waste.
Universal waste is being processed at 1 Bly Street.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct.
Now, back to my original question. What do you think? What do we feel?
So, I mean, I think if this is the first step to kick it to the planning board, frankly, I think this is where this should have been 2 years ago when you came in. And I know you lost that guy who sounds like he was more of the, the municipal manager side, but
It doesn't work that way.
it doesn't, and she has an incredibly valid point. We found ourselves in this position now on a couple different things over the last few years, and it's for this board. Maybe it's just me, but
It can't,
it's
it cannot go
Right.
to the planning board if we disapprove it.
I'm aware.
Okay.
But my point is that I'm just trying to make the point that
It should have.
this,
But it would have stopped here first, no matter what, if they did it 2 years ago or now, because the use wasn't allowed. So they wouldn't even go to the planning board if we didn't allow the use. There's no point in that.
having said
So it's
that,
either allow the use, send it to the planning board, or disallow the use and send them home.
yeah.
It boils down to that.
Like I said, I prefer an occupied building. It's downtown. I don't want the thing falling apart. The screening piece, I keep going back to it. I would make that a stipulation.
Is that within our realm? I mean, does that come under site plan review?
Well, it's in the
I thought it was-
bylaw anyway, right, Charlie? You have to have screening for
Right,
exterior
exterior
storage. So technically, when it goes through the planning board, they'll address it because it's in the bylaw, but they should already be adhering to that. Technically, Charlie could go down and violate them for not having storage down there. But this whole process has been in flux back and forth for some time now. So, it's already mandated in the bylaw so you could attach it, it's not gonna do any harm, but you don't have to because it's already in the bylaw. But that will be a component of site plan review.
It is a component.
Yeah.
Having said that, I'm not opposed.
Jess?
I've been going back and forth. On the one hand, we do need to handle recycling materials. On the other hand, residential neighborhood.
It's not.
Well, abutting residential neighborhood, and truck traffic, as you pointed out. I'm probably slanted towards saying no. So,
Mhm. So so this is the property, right now, we're considering the property off of Bly Street.
One Blythe
One
Street.
Bly Street, to be specific. And on that property is being conducted recycling of electronics.
Right.
Universal waste.
Right. It's a just.
It's a recycling
And it's a
facility.
recycling, we're agreeing that it's recycling.
Yes.
And it's not allowed, in that, or it's not mentioned as a use for, in the light industrial district, which it is, correct?
Correct.
Right. So the thing before the board, are we to, is this a benefit enough to the town to be, for us to consider the change in this use? We have, so obviously the abutting residents have a lot of problems with this. There are issues of traffic and screening, all of that could be taken care of. And what else? We're out of the, I think it's been mentioned in the aquifer, we're actually out of the aquifer district. Although it does have impact to surface water, that could impact the groundwater. But again, maybe that's slightly out of our purview, unless it's actually in the zone. So,
If it was in the aquifer protection, that's under the purview of the planning board as well. Be a
Right.
special permit through the planning board.
so do we approve this and have the planning, the site plan review, fix all the things that are objectionable? Or do we just say there's not enough here for us to, there's not enough the other benefit is tax money, it doesn't benefit the town. If it's unused, it's not generating taxes. So are those uses, or are those factors sufficient for us to bend the bylaw? I mean, bend the zoning bylaw. I'm thinking out loud here.
It's not bending it.
Well, any variance we give is not permitted in this current zoning law. So we need a reason to do that.
Well, it's not permitted because it wasn't thought about when they
Yeah.
wrote it. It's not like we've taken a bylaw
Right, okay.
and twisted it. That's,
No,
I just wanna make sure you're on the right page.
A wrong statement. Bad meanings. Yeah. So again, we're back in that dilemma, in that awkward situation.
Well, when they
We're
apparently,
trying to
when
throw something.
the bylaw was written, it wasn't considered.
Right, okay.
It's that simple. I mean, there's 13 pages in that damn bylaw about adult stores, and we don't even have one. You know, I mean, that's kind of foolish, but it's there. Somebody thought it was a good idea at some point.
Yeah, well, that was a big deal once.
So, did you come to any
Jeez.
conclusion, or was you just, did I miss it?
You missed it.
All right.
No, you didn't come, you didn't miss a thing.
John?
Outside storage, screening by the planning board, and the other hang-up I have is, it's a permanent allowance. And I have no idea who's gonna be there 15 years from now, and what kind of can of worms we're opening up.
True. Very true.
I mean, that's a blanket.
These are not owned buildings, they're leased.
I know, I mean, and it's a permanent change of use. And I can't predict what's gonna happen 10 years from now.
Good point. Good point.
Yeah, if So we're all enclosed in a neat, state-of-the-art facility instead of ones just being reused, and, you know, it would be hard to go against it. It would be, it would be already screened, it would already be contained, it'd be, you know, it's not that. It's hard to, it's not a neat situation. It's a desirable thing, you know, we're gonna get rid of some of this waste recycling and all, we have to have viable markets. But are we going to be, is this the place to do it? It's an honorable thing, and I'm sure they do a responsible job, but the facility itself is a little bit wanting.
Well, as far as whether it's the place to do it, is they can't build housing there.
Right.
True.
I mean, so no matter what we do, it's gonna be light industrial of some kind.
Yeah, yeah. So
I mean, technically, you could build houses if you came and got a variance from the board.
Don't start.
I'm just saying, that's why we're here.
it's good to be.
All right. Let's cut to the chase. I make a motion that we grant the variance with the stipulation that goes to the planning board for site plan review, screening, building commissioner monitors progress for the next 12 months.
Okay, I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yea or nay?
Nay.
Yes?
This doesn't pass.
Doesn't pass.
It's gotta be super majority.
That's 4 out of 5. So regardless, what I would say, it's denied.
So what are our next?
You have 2 options at this point. Close the doors and go home, or take it to the Superior Court. Superior Court is the only one that can overturn the decision. Now, second,
Close the hearing.
all right, make a motion to close the hearing for 1 Bly Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let me get to this one. I'm sorry, I lost my place.
And just so you're aware, state law requires a supermajority of the board for a variance or special permit. So it's not majority, it's supermajority. So for a 5-member board, 4 people have to vote in favor of it.
But the application was for a variance.
That's
I
right.
said a variance or a special permit.
Oh, or special
Yeah.
permit.
Was there only,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
there was only
attached.
one?
Yeah,
Okay, so you,
it's-
Yeah, they're on the
that's why I couldn't
second
find the
page.
second page, all right, I'm sorry. Mayor ZBA will conduct a public hearing 7:35 PM on Wednesday, February 19th, 2020 at Ayer Town Hall located at 1 Main Street, Ayer, Mass. Regarding an application by Northeast Material Handling, 11 Tannery Street. Is that the right one?
It is, yeah.
All right. Applicant is seeking a variance pursuant to Ayer zoning bylaw 2018 as amended October 22, 2018, to allow for the use of the premises for recycling, repurposing of office/warehouse furniture. I think we've pretty much covered this.
I feel the same way I felt about the last one. I would be in favor of it, again, knowing that it's going to the planning board and it would be under the eye of Charlie.
I'd be in favor of it also at that location.
John?
Is there any distinguishable additions that you want to bring up for the second location on Tannery?
sorry, I didn't hear the
It's,
question.
it's furniture that's
It's furniture.
being repurposed.
And that's basically all that's gonna be.
That's all that's in there. And our office staff is upstairs.
So when you talk about sales, that's not retail, right?
Sales,
Yeah, well, you mentioned in here selling the furniture,
correct.
but it's not a retail
No.
sale.
No,
So I don't think
We're a
that
whole-
requires a variance.
Well, it does change of use. It's a change of use. The property, it's a change of use.
He's saying it
Correct.
doesn't need anything additional
Oh,
because
no,
they're
no,
not
no,
doing
no, I'm sorry.
retail
Retail
sales.
sales.
Okay, no.
No. That- that's-
So there's nothing in the bylaw that covers furniture either?
It's the
Recycling, John.
Well, he's, okay, fine. We'll use
That's,
the word
that's what the
recycling.
man said. Recycling and repurposing.
Okay,
which repurposing is a form of recycling.
okay. So as far as this one goes, I'm not sure it has the negative impact. But again, it's still making it a recyclable, so I guess the vote would be the same.
Okay. Jess?
And one question here was, you do keep cleaning supplies, lacquer thinner, et cetera, and it's been raised a few times in some of the comments that you're allowed to keep, you can't keep quantities greater than those associated with normal household use.
Correct.
Correct.
So
We don't,
we-
we don't carry anything more
maximum-
than household use.
Maximum 1 gallon
Okay.
is stored in a flammable cabinet of lacquer thinner, and then Fabuloso, I believe,
Mhm.
as well, in a spray bottle, as well as Old English
Mhm.
is used.
Okay. And my other question would be, are there abutter comments on this building?
The butters?
You still have the trucks coming down there, right?
Yes.
Families all up and down that neighborhood. That's, got kids riding on bikes. My kids are just getting to that age, 4 and 5, gonna be riding bikes.
The toddlers.
Thank you.
I'm still thinking.
You're still opening it up to the same thing that you would have opened it up to the first one, because you're still opening it up to recycling.
This one's pretty specific, and I would make the motion specifically for repurposing of office warehouse furniture. So if you find somebody else in 10 years who wants to go in there and repurpose office and warehouse furniture,
Can we stipulate that on that? Can we stipulate that that's the only thing that it applies to is repurposing furniture?
Well,
Because you're giving it a use.
well, that's just it. If someone comes in for something different, they still have to come back here for a variance.
So for that property, it is strictly for the furniture repurpose and recycle.
You done thinking?
I'm still thinking.
Jesus.
What are you thinking, Ron?
No, I think at this property, I would approve 4 trips a day, traffic is
You would approve.
nothing. I see more trash trucks coming down 3rd Street, bombing down the street.
What street are you referring to? You said 3rd Street. All our trucks is taken.
No, 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 I'm not
no,
talking
no,
about
no,
you,
no,
I'm talking
no.
about, I see more, trash truck jockeys. Had nothing to do with you, I'm
Right.
just saying, comparing
Yeah.
the
I'll go with this one.
disruption
We'd go
to
with
a neighborhood.
planning board.
What?
Sorry, I'm done thinking. I
You
will.
done thinking? All right.
Yeah, so I would go.
All right, I make a motion that we grant the variance for use at 11 Tannery Street, pending, well, not pending, in conjunction with site plan review and Oversight,
Limited to furniture.
limited to furniture.
Second.
As in the application.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You have the furniture warehouse. Make a motion to
Close the meeting.
close the meeting,
Close the
Second.
public hearing.
public hearing, sorry.
Okay.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Hearing's closed.
Who seconded the motion?
I think I did. If Sam made the
Who
motion.
wants a second?
So that would be variance. Sorry, my thing just froze.
Approval of the minutes from November. No, we didn't.
On the agenda.
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the minutes as written from November 20th, 2019.
Charlie, don't run away.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Make a motion to adjourn.
Motion to
Sam, I'll be
adjourn.
right here.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting's over.